All right, what's up, everybody? So I'm here with Anthony and his dad, Luis. So I think we've actually been working together since last year in August. It's been about over half a year now, which is crazy to think that time's flown by that fast. But so really just want to share your guys' experience so that way, other people can learn from how things went inside Scholarship Accelerator and share some of the things that really worked well for you guys. So I mean, mind telling everybody a little bit about, I guess, what's happened so far, where you guys are at in your process. I know you guys just you signed the couple of weeks ago on signing day and everything, but you guys mind sharing your side of the story of everything?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I'll start, and Anthony, if you want to chime in. So initially, well, I'm going to rewind back to his sophomore year. He had signed up for an agency. I'm sure everybody knows about it, NCSA. And I was getting a couple of emails here and there. Didn't think too much about it. Then fast forward to his junior year, he started doing his Twitter and all this stuff. Started asking them, "Hey, what's going on with the recruiting?" And then we got on the call with this agency, signed up with him and all that stuff. But it just didn't seem like it was getting anywhere. And then I said, well, you know what? Let me jump on Twitter and see what's going on. See, I've never been on Twitter. So I went ahead and I created my own Twitter account. And I started kind of just following Anthony and just kind of seeing what was going on. And at that point, like he was kind of getting discouraged already. He was getting really, coaches were kind of hitting him up and then they were going silent. And then fast track, I started seeing some of Trenton's posts. And one of the ones that really caught my eye was my JUCO story and what you can learn from it. I think that's what it was called. I read through that when Anthony got home from school. I said, "Hey, check this guy out. It seems like this guy knows what he's doing. I mean, you might want to connect with him, and because we're not getting anywhere with this other agency, right?" And sure enough, I mean, I hit you up. I DM'd you. You said, "Hey, what's the issues you're having?" We gave you the rundown. And after we sat down and talked to you for a few minutes, I mean, we got a good vibe, and so did Anthony. And we pulled the trigger and started working with you. And I mean, right off the bat, we started seeing changes as far as more exposure. He was getting more DMs from coaches. And fast forward to this month, 2024, or February 2024, he committed to Ottawa University out of Kansas. And it's kind of like, in short, what happened, our little recruiting journey. There was a lot more to it, a lot more headaches, a lot more frustrations. Never ever did we ever say, "Hey, we're going to quit." It was just, "Hey, we're just hitting some roadblocks, and we just got to lift them up and throw them across the street and keep going, keep on going."
Yeah, like my dad said, I mean, the process is very frustrating and it's a lot of work. But I wasn't really getting any exposure. And then once we got with Trenton, I ended up getting my first offer not that long afterwards. So it's been a great journey.
Yeah,
Awesome.
definitely an improvement from what we were experiencing.
Oh
That's for
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
I appreciate you guys sharing that. So, yeah, I think that Luis, you really mentioned something that I want to hit on is like you said, hey, we never gave up. Like there's a lot of frustrations, a lot of headaches. And I mean, even when you guys worked with me, there was still no short of that. I mean, the recruiting process is filled with plenty of pitfalls and headaches that you have to go through. But like you said, like never gave up. Just if you stick with the process, and I mean, that's like the biggest thing is just consistency of sticking with it, of wanting to actually get to this, then it kind of makes it hard to fail at that point. And I think that's really what helped you guys out a ton.
Oh yeah, and if I can add, I mean, someone once told me a long time ago, it's very easy to quit. Why? Because you just keep doing it and doing it. Because hey, I've done it before, might as well. And we don't do that.
Mhm.
And like I said before, hey, all you need is one coach to really believe in you. And we had a few coaches that believed in him. And after sitting down and brainstorming everything, we felt that Kansas was a fit, and he's getting ready for that now.
Awesome. And then I guess like what, because obviously you guys have been going through this since the sophomore year. I didn't even realize that you guys had been kind of thinking about the recruiting process that long. So
Mhm.
what kind of changed? What happened that you feel like got you guys, the interest that you guys were able to get and the offer ultimately finding that right school? Like, what do you feel like led to that kind of shift in the recruiting process?
I think a lot of it had to do, we weren't very knowledgeable in a lot of areas. For instance, we'd send a DM and that was it, and I think part of what the difference was all the tools that you provided to us. That a lot of them, it seemed like it was going to be more difficult, but it's just really time consuming. If you put time into it, is really what I think we were lacking, was that, and not just that, but what a post, how to communicate with these coaches, how to follow up, um, just different areas that we had no idea of. And you pretty much opened a Pandora's box per se, what we needed to do. So, and it was just like a lot of knowledge that you provided.
Yeah, you guys did really well with the post stuff. But yeah, go ahead, Anthony.
Yeah, definitely be more active on Twitter and stuff like that, because I definitely wasn't when I was in my sophomore year. I'd probably post maybe like once a month or once every 2 months, but my dad's been on top of me, and we're training too, sending out DMs to coaches like 20 plus a day, maybe, or more. So yeah, it's been great. Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. And then as far as like, again, I know you guys, I didn't even realize you guys were going at this since that sophomore year and everything. That's a long time to go through this. So, honestly, longer than I was. I mean, I went through it probably spring of my sophomore year, maybe somewhere around there. So, but going through that, like, I mean, how did it feel going from when we first kind of talked? I know you reached out to me via DM, and from there to, I mean, how does it feel like? I mean, I know the process is pretty much over, which I'm sure you guys are glad about and glad to be at the right spot. But from the signing day, like, how did it feel throughout that process? Like, did you guys feel more confident in the process? Did you feel like you guys had a better understanding of things, like actually understood what it took to get recruited, or just could you go a little bit into that?
I'll be honest. There's no more fog. We have a lot of clarity now, and just to get to the signing day, I mean, it was a big weight lifted off, at least my shoulders, as a parent. Because I mean, honestly, when you got to stay on top of your kids, and staying on top of Anthony at the beginning, it was really tough. I'll be honest, but then it kind of clicked, and he's like, okay, I understand now what I need to do. So it was really more of a relief, but at the same time, it's like we finally got this win that we were waiting on, and we finally did it. But that's from my perspective as a parent. That's how I felt. I have like big weight lifted off my shoulders. I mean, the work's not done, obviously. He's prepping, getting ready, and all that stuff. But as a parent, me, it was a 24/7 deal. Like always, constantly thinking about it. What can I do? What can we do better? I mean, I hit you up a couple times through texts, through calls, and stuff like that. But yeah, Anthony, I don't want to take all your time.
No, yeah, I definitely did feel a lot more knowledgeable, because I mean, to be honest, we really didn't know anything about the recruiting process. So I mean, as time went on, I felt a lot more confident. I was definitely thinking like, damn, this offer is gonna come, it's gonna come, it's gonna come, and it finally came. So yeah.
Great. Well, yeah, I really appreciate you guys sharing all that. And yeah, it's been awesome getting to work with you guys. It's just been a blast. So yeah, I'm super excited. I mean, I know Anthony's actually not going to be too far away from me now, so might have to come down to Ottawa sometime. But yeah, I appreciate you guys hopping on and being able to share your story. And again, super grateful to work with you guys. So
thank you, Coach.
Oh, thank you. I mean, it's honestly, if I can add, it was a blessing meeting you. And I mean, we're still in communication. It's not like, hey, this story's over, And like I said, I think had I not pulled the trigger and jumped on Twitter, I mean, honestly, I don't know what would have happened. And you just caught my eye. I was like, well, who's this kid? And I'll be honest, I mean, I did all the research I possibly could on you. I went online, everything, Googled you, all that stuff. I said, this guy's legit. He knows what he's talking about. And actually, I've been preaching to as many parents as I can. Just last week, I sent you a message. I was speaking to a parent, and his son is a sophomore, and he was in shock. I mean, I kind of scared him a little bit with a lot of the info that I was giving him, because honestly, a lot of recruits and parents, they have no idea. They think that some coach is just going to come and knock on your door and say, "Hey, are you XYZ? Hey, we've been watching you." It doesn't happen that way. And if you're waiting for that, you're going to be very disappointed.
yeah, I definitely agree with all those points right there. That's a lot of what we preach. So awesome. Well, yeah, I won't take any more of your guys' time. I appreciate that. And to anybody who's watching, if you're wanting to join Scholarship Accelerator, be sure to check out the links below. And yeah, I'll catch you guys later.
Yeah, with Trenton.